And he's always been good.
Yeah,
But like now his voice is in a range where he can do grown man songs and it sounds right. So that's even better. That's awesome. Yeah. I think you've done this 5 times and been able to make 4 of them, and these are awesome. The last few times I've just done either poetry or comedy. I think this time I might mix in a parody song or 2. This first thing is, if you've never heard me before, part of what I like to do is I like to do something called stand-up poetry, which is kind of like a comedy poem, but kind of like crossing stand-up and poetry. This is called Socialites. Only on social media is the statement, I am following you now, I am following you now, I am following you now, flattering and monetizable instead of deeply creepy and unnerving. I'm following you now, right? I'm not wrong here. Only on YouTube is begging at the end of every statement, like me, please like me, please like me, please like me. Not only the ramblings, or not the ramblings of an insecure child, but also a sound economic strategy. Only on Internet 2.0 are spoken demands to subscribe, 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 subscribe. More disposable than the 20 subscription cards in a doctor's office magazine. Friend requests. I remember when friend requests used to be, you want to join me to watch sports? You want to help me clean off my porch? Can I have a lift to the airport? Now they're how you find out people you went to high school with are still alive and emotionally needy. And into some really weird things politically. Now we all sound like Frankenstein. Friend! Friend! Good! Instagram used to be what you call a really punctual drug dealer. I don't know. Now the drug we're dealing is far worse than cocaine or heroin. Now the drug we're dealing in is validation. And man, validation is one hell of a drug. I am following you now. I am following you now. I'm following you now. I don't know. Sounds creepy to me. I must be getting old. I'm going to try an a cappella song parody for you now. This is to the tune of I Put a Spell on You, and it's kind of strange. I put a spell on you! Now you're a mime! You gotta act out the things you do because you're quiet. Now you're quiet. No, you can't stand up straight because you're running against the wind. You can't hold steady now. Stand up, you get knocked right down again. I put a spell on you. Oh, now you're a mime. You're a mime. You pull and you pull and you pull on an invisible rope, but you can't escape the impenetrable guy's cage. There's no hope. You hear me? I put a spell on you. Now, you're a mime. So that's the second thing. This third thing is kind of funny, but it's more of a poem. This might be the one thing I've done here before. I don't know. I have a lot of weird stuff. This is called Maybe Only the Crazy Can Love You. Everyone says you gotta love yourself, but I think sometimes it's more like an arranged marriage, right? Where you just accept this is who you are permanently stuck with. It's not something you start with. It's not something you're born with. It's something you gotta learn. You gotta learn to love yourself. You gotta get used to being you and find the things to love about that person. Everyone says you gotta love yourself, but they make that sound so easy when they say it. It's like real love. It takes real work and thought and faith to figure out how to love yourself. At least it does for me. Okay, because even weird-looking people, even us weird-looking people, sometimes you can catch that one angle where they're beautiful. That angle their lover sees all the time. Depending how you feel that day, that will either warm your heart or break it. Because when you're awesome but maybe a little bit broken inside, and some days maybe a lot broken inside. Some days maybe only the crazy can love you, but you still need love, you know. If crazy's all that can love you, if they have to be crazy to see the awesome hidden down deep inside between the shards, the scraps, and the pieces, then you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn how to love the crazy back. Because you still need love. I know I do. You probably do too. Whatever you're into, we all need love, and that's okay. But try not to get hurt along the way, if you can. It's not a parody song. This is to the tune of Eddie Money's 2 Tickets to Paradise. I get a little louder, so it's really going to net in front of the mics for this. I've got a feeling that's deep down internally, something that's growing as it eats away from me. Since that tainted salam, since that tainted salam, that tainted salam, that tainted salam, I've got intestinal parasites. The pain is keeping me up at night. I got intestinal parasites, intestinal parasites. From that roadkill deer, pig trichinosis are escaping from my rear. It feels so wrong. It feels so wrong. It feels so wrong. It feels so wrong. I've got intestinal parasites. You know, the pain is keeping me up at night. I got intestinal parasites. I got intestinal parasites. Ah! Ah! Thank you.